White means nothing happens, but you have to sit. Pearl means you have a warning. Alabaster means you have one serious warning. Snow means you have a talk after school. No detention. Ivory means you lose 1 minute of recess. Cream means you lose 2 minutes of recess. Eggshell means you lose 5 minutes of recess. Cotton means you lose 10 minutes of recess. Chiffon means you lose 15 minutes of recess. Salt means you lose 20 minutes of recess. Lace means you lose 25 minutes of recess. Coconut means you lose a lot of recess. Linen means you have detention for 30 seconds. Bone means you have detention for 1 minute. Daisy means you have detention for 2 minutes. Powder means you have detention for 5 minutes. Frost means you have detention for 10 minutes. Porcelain means you have detention for 15 minutes. Parchment means you have detention for 20 minutes. Rice means you have detention for 25 minutes. Tan means you have detention for 30 minutes. Beige means you have detention for 45 minutes. 35 minutes. Alright. Macaroon means you have detention for 40 minutes. Hazelwood means you have detention for 45 minutes. Granola means you have detention for 50 minutes. Oat means you have detention for 55 minutes. Eggnog means you are sorry. Fawn means you're sad. Sugar cookie means you go to detention for 56 minutes. Sand means you have detention for 57 minutes. Sepia means you have detention for 58 minutes. Lip means you have detention for 59 minutes. Oyster means you have detention for 59.1 minutes. Biscotti means you have detention for 59.2 minutes. Parmesan means you have detention for 59.3 minutes. Hazelnut means you have detention for 59.5 minutes. Sandcastle means you have detention for 59.7 minutes. Buttermilk means you have detention for 59.8 minutes. Sand dollar means you have detention for 59.9 minutes. Shortbread means you have detention for 59.95 minutes. Yellow means you have detention for 1 hour. Canary means you have detention for 2 hours. Gold means you have detention for 3 hours. Daffodil means you have detention for 4 hours. Flaxen means you have detention for 5 hours. Butter means you have detention for 6 hours. Lemon means you have detention for 7 hours. Mustard means you have detention for 8 hours. Corn means you have detention for 9 hours. Medallion means you have detention for 10 hours. Fire means you have detention for 11 hours. Bumblebee means you have detention for 12 hours. Banana means you have detention for 13 hours. Butterscotch means you have detention for 14 hours. Dijon means you have detention for 15 hours. Honey means you have detention for 16 hours. Blonde means you have detention for 17 hours. Pineapple means you have detention for 18 hours. Tuscan Sun means you have detention for 19 hours. Orange means you have detention for 20 hours. Tangerine means you have detention for 21 hours. Marigold means you have detention for 22 hours. Cedar means you have detention for 23 hours. Rust means you have detention for 24 hours. Ginger means you have detention for 25 hours. Tiger means you have detention for 26 hours. Another fire card means you have detention for 27 hours. Cantaloupe means you have detention for 28 hours. Apricot means you have detention for 29 hours. Clay means you have detention for 30 hours. Honey means you have detention for 31 hours. Carrot means you have detention for 22 hours. Squash means you have detention for 33 hours. Spice means you have detention for 34 hours. Marmalade means you have detention for 25 hours. Amber means you have detention for 26 hours. Sandstone means you have detention for 27 hours. Yam means you have detention for 28 hours. Stay tuned for part 3 of the longest behavior card day planned.